And he that overcometh and keepeth my words.
You got to keep his words, his commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Remember the Sabbath day. Stop celebrating Christmas. Stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Guess what? All that stuff sounds good. But brothers, if y'all don't do it, y'all not getting no power. If you don't do it, you're going to get the same destruction that's coming to them. So we can smile and gloat all we want. But until we do what he says to do, are you going to get the power? No. The power is what's going to make the nations want to come and serve you. You understand?
Yeah. This is redemption. This is redemption. We on our way, Sierra Leone, I'm on a flight. How about the plane? What is you saying? Israel unite.
Again, that you're pretty confident that dad is probably white. Which, I'm going to show you something. The reason why he was stressing to you, and as you as well, about your true identity, because believe it or not, when the time comes, right, like the officer's bringing out, get Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1. I'm going to show you an example. When the kingdom comes, other nations are going to be there. We got to lead them. You understand that? So some of the stuff that she's agreeing with according to the Bible, you got to be a better example. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because you said you got a daughter, right? She's a mother. She's a woman. Regardless to what, she knows how to raise a woman. Is that fair to say? And you as a father got to prepare your daughter. Exactly. You as the leader have to lead by example. There's certain things that we as men, we like to tell our kids to do, but we ourselves don't do it. But I'm going to show you in the kingdom to come, the great example that we're going to be to the nations. Come on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah.
Saw concerning who?
Concerning Judah.
You say you're from Judah, right? You know what tribe you're from? You African American? Well, I want you to look at this real quick. African Americans are from the tribe of Judah. That's the same tribe that Christ came from. So we're talking about the tribe of Judah right now. Right. That means the Lord's praise. That's what it means. Right. Read.
And Jerusalem.
Come on.
And it shall come to pass.
Now he says it shall come to pass. This is future. It ain't talking about now. Read.
In the last days.
In where?
In the last days.
In the last days that we living in. Come on.
That the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established.
So he said in the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house is going to be established. Is it established right now? Nah. Because you see war going on over there about the land that belongs to y'all, belongs to us. You see all manner of whoredom and abomination going on the earth. You got Donald Trump over here calling our brothers, the Haitians, talking about they eating cats and dogs. All manner of evil. But he said in that day when God's house is established, read.
That the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Come on.
And shall be exalted above the hills.
He said it's going to be exalted, meaning it ain't going to be hard to find. Right. You're going to be able to turn around and be like, yeah, that's the place right there.
Right.
Ain't no doubt about it. Read.
And all nations.
And who?
And all nations.
And what?
And all nations.
Read.
Shall flow unto it.
And all nations shall flow unto it. Why do you think all nations going to want to flow into it? Why do you think? Why do you think?
They gonna see his greatness.
They gonna see his what?
They gonna feel it.
They gonna see his greatness.
Right.
You said they gonna feel it, right? I'm gonna show you an example. Hold that. Get Zechariah 14. What you think they gonna feel?
Like, dang, I want to be a part.
Matter of fact, no. I'll give you an easy one. Give Revelation 2:25.
Bring it out.
He said, I want to be a part of it right now. Like we said earlier, there's a place for everybody.
Right.
So when they say a part of it, are they gonna be equal or are they gonna be under us? What you say? Under, right? What you say? Under. It sound good. Now, here's the flip side. It sound good. But if they gonna be under us, that means we gotta be a what? What else? We gotta be a good example. Ain't nobody trying to follow no bad example. Because right now, the nations have wealth. They got resources. Hell, they rule the world. That's the truth. I'm not lying. Does not the white man rule the world? He makes all the law. It's going to be flipped. But what I'm saying is right now, if he's ruling the earth, what's going to have to happen to make him to say, I want to serve him?
Bring it out.
Something drastic going to have to happen, right?
All have to come together.
We ain't going to come together the way you talking. Well, I'm going to show you. Watch. Come on.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 21.
Come on.
And
verse 25.
Verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come.
So he said that which we have already, talking about the Bible, hold on to it till Christ return. Read.
And he that overcometh.
And you that overcome your sin with the smoking. If you might be drinking, you're doing weed, you're doing drugs, you selling dope, rob, you're doing whoredom out here. When you overcome those sins, read,
and keep my word
and keep his commandments
till the end. To him will I give power.
What, he gonna give us what?
Power.
He gonna give us power.
Right.
That's what's good. Think about it. You got a white man that got nuclear weapons.
Right, that's
you
right.
think he's trying to serve right now? Right. You gotta wait till the black Messiah come back and give us what?
Give us power over the nations.
Over who?
Over the nations.
That's why they're gonna be coming.
Right.
They're gonna realize, wait a second, what's your name? They're gonna say Tony got power.
Right.
I can't fire a nuclear weapon at Tony, he's invincible.
Right.
I know it's hard to fathom that. But think about it. Christ died and he what? Resurrected.
That's right.
You ain't killing that. There's no death. That's what we're gonna get to. He said he's gonna give you what?
Power over the nations.
Come on.
And he shall rule them.
And he said we're gonna rule them, read,
with a rod of iron.
You know why it says with a rod of iron? Because we're gonna have so much power that they may have a nuclear weapon, but guess what? The power that you have can utterly destroy them.
Right.
That's what's gonna make them think and say, you know what? It might benefit me to go up to this mountain, shut the hell up and serve this man, but in order to get this power, what you gotta do? Go back to that top part. No, right there. He that overcome.
And he that overcometh and keepeth my words.
You got to keep his words, his commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Remember the Sabbath day. Stop celebrating Christmas. Stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Guess what? All that stuff sounds good. But brothers, if y'all don't do it, y'all not getting no power.
Right.
You understand? Right. If you don't do it, you're going to get the same destruction that's coming to them.
Right.
So we can smile and gloat all we want. But until we do what he says to do, are you going to get the power? No. No. The power is what's going to make the nations want to come and serve you. You understand? I'm going to show you another example. Get Zechariah 14 now. Because some people are going to say, you know what? I don't like the fact that, excuse my language, I don't like the fact them niggas got power. Truth be told, nations don't like to see black men in power.
Right.
That's why every black ruler that rose up, what they did to him? Killed him. From your Malcolm X to your Martin Luther King to your Stokely Carmichael to your, what's his name?
Fred Hampton.
Every black man that stood up for his people, what they do? Crucified him like Christ. Right. But he stood up. Now we understand that was an example for back then, but he stood up without the power that Christ was coming. But when we stand up with the power that Christ is coming, they can't do that.
Right.
You understand? Now watch this.
16. Yep. The book of Zechariah, chapter 14, verse 16. And it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass. This is also in the kingdom in the future to come. Read.
That everyone that is left of all the nations.
Everyone that's left, because guess what's going to happen? World War III is going to happen. Y'all know that, right? It's slowly coming around. It started with, it actually been going on, but I'm going to catch y'all up to speed. For us, it started last year. And the reason why I say that is you might not know about the stuff that happened before. With Hamas going over there kidnapping some people, right? It's actually been going over before that. But I'm going to just start from there. Then you got Israel bombing the hell out of Gaza, killing millions of innocent people. Recently, last week, U.S. said they're sending troops over there. U.S. shot missiles over there at Hamas and the Iron nations. Showing you what, if America starts to get involved, who else you think gonna get involved?
Bring it out.
Everybody else. Right. Russia gonna get involved. China gonna get involved. You know what you're gonna have? World War III.
That's right.
World War III. Read that part again.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations
after the destruction
which came against Jerusalem,
which they what?
Which came against Jerusalem,
Read.
Shall even go up from year to year.
They're gonna do what?
Go up from year to year to worship the king.
To worship who?
To worship the king.
We're going to have power that they're going to worship the black man. They're going to bow the knee and worship a black man with no objection. The nations are forced to keep our holidays.
Right.
You know, like how now they give you all Christmas, and I guarantee if you said, I want to work to get time and a half, what you think going to say?
They're gonna let you.
Bring it out.
Hell no, we tried it. Yeah, bro, I literally went to them and was like, look, I want the Sabbath off. I want my feast days according to the Bible off, right? I'll work 4th of July. You know what they said? No. I don't see nobody out here that could beg to work the 4th of July and that white man gonna let you work it. You know why? That's his national holiday, to remember what he did about conquering this land. He will never naturally give you that off unless you already slotted to work. So what I'm saying to you is, you couldn't go in and say like Thanksgiving. You may ask, hey look, I wanna work it. You know what they're gonna tell you? Nah, it's family time. They give you these days off because they want you to serve their gods. But in the kingdom to come, you're gonna have to serve our God. You
That's
understand?
right.
Verse 17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth.
Now God says, there's going to be some rebellion. This goes back to the power you got to have. Whoever doesn't come up to serve God, read,
Unto Jerusalem,
Come on.
to worship the king, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
He said, I'm not giving you no rain. Now that might look simple, right? What happens to people if they get no rain in their land?
They get dehydrated.
They get dehydrated.
Crops die.
Oh, whoa, there we go. Say it again.
Crops and food is gone.
So if the crops and food is gone, then what happens? People going what? Bring it out. Come on, bring it home for us.
Bring it out.
Die or
People going to die.
Right.
People going to die.
Right.
We just had a hurricane. Brothers couldn't get no gas. Matter of fact, we had COVID a couple years ago. You couldn't find no paper towel.
Right.
You couldn't find no tissue to wipe your behind.
Right.
You couldn't even barely find food.
Right.
A lot of people did what? Died.
Right.
So if they decide, well, we don't want to come up to serve the black Christ, they're going to die. You understand that? This is why they're coming up to the mount. But I want y'all to pay attention to the bigger picture. You got to make it to the mount. Because if you don't make it to rule, get Proverbs 12:26. Where do you think you're going to be at? If you don't keep God's commandments to make it to that promised land to rule the nations, where do you think you're going to be at?
Right with them.
Okay. You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
And where is that? When you say right with them, where at? Doing what? Suffering.
And, yeah.
Suffering. Dying. Watch this. Come on.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 21. Don't hand join in hand.
So you got some of our people right now that's joining hand with those enemies. You got some of our people that know the wickedness of those people, and they still co-sign with them. A lot of them be in politics. That's the truth about it. A lot of them be in politics. But guess what? Another way you join hand in hand is when you agree to their holidays. You agree to breaking God's commandments. For example, the Sabbath day. God gave the Sabbath day to the Israelites, nobody else. But, say it again. You see that? She know it. How come we don't know it? She's telling you that's not even her history, and we don't even know it. That's a damn shame. Not to you, but to us. Think about that. The nations, you know why the nations are so zealous for our God? Why do you think that is? Why do you think the nations are so zealous? Why do you think everybody has this Bible? Why does everybody want this Bible? She's not the only one. You got people who know what time of day it is. Them Jewish people over there, they know they're not God's people. That's why they call themselves Jewish.
Right.
They will never say they're Israelites.
Right.
They will say they're Israeli. They will never say they're Israelites.
Right.
Why do you think the nations are so zealous about our God? Take a wild guess. Give me Psalms 96. Ain't that deep? Why do you think the nations are so zealous about our God? Why they not zealous about their God? Because they got a God.
They heavy.
Why? I'm going to help y'all out. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
The book of Psalms, chapter 96, verse 5.
This is why they so zealous. Pay attention. Pay attention. This is why they so zealous.
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
They're what?
Are idols.
They know their God ain't real.
Right.
But yours is.
Right.
So that's why they're envious. That's why they'll do anything in their power to take you away from your God. By calling you African American.
That's
by
right.
calling you nigger. By
Right.
calling you colored. By calling you Jamaican. By calling... by calling you anything except for what God calls you. Because the goal is to disconnect you from your God.
Right.
Then turn around and tell you, wait, it's really our God. Matter of fact, it's everybody God. You know why? Read it again.
For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens.
They know that. But they want to make sure you don't know that, because as long as you don't know that, they rule. Give me Judah chapter 5, verse 20. I'm going to prove it to you. Because it's not what we're going over right now, this is not the first time in history this happened. When you go into the history of the Bible, bro, there's tons of times we went into slavery because we were rebellious. We broke his commandments. He had us in Babylonian slavery. He had us in Persian Mede slavery, Greek slavery. Rome Christ was born in slavery under the Romans. Even Jesus Christ was born in slavery having to serve a white man. That's crazy. Why? Because we broke God's commandments. The nations understood this though. Come on.
The book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 20.
Read it out.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in these people.
Now, I want you to give you some context to this. This is an Ammonite, which would be nowadays would be called a so-called Japanese man saying this.
Right.
He was sent to do reconnaissance on our people. And this is the reconnaissance, the report he came back to give a general that wanted to conquer us of another nation.
If there be any error in these people.
So he said to his military general, if there's error in God's people,
and they sin against their God,
and they sin against their God, which is what? Breaking their commandments.
let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
And no, it's going to be their benefit.
This shall be their ruin.
Another nation is saying if we sin against God, it's going to be our ruin. Read.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Wait a second. Didn't they overcome us?
Bring it up.
They overcame us, correct? So that means we did what? We sinned against our God.
Right.
Story as old as time. Why do you think a lot of these laws and things they're pushing right now is against us?
Right.
There's a whole election going on, and they're targeting the black vote, quote unquote. You got a woman who's not even black.
Right.
She's freaking East Indian.
Right.
And she put Megan Thee Stallion on stage to shake her ass to get your vote.
Right.
You know how disrespectful that is? That's what she thinks of you. Then she turned around and said, I want to talk about prison reform. She put Quavo up there. Quavo who raps about killing brothers that look like me and you. Do you ever see the white man say, I'm going to put Jeffrey Dahmer up there so I can get the white vote? Nah. But why they do that to us? Because they're making a mockery, because they want us to see in sin.
Right.
When we vote, that is sin. We're not supposed to elect another nation over us. Hell, we're not supposed to be voting.
Right.
Read. Come on.
Verse 21.
Come on.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation.
Now I want you to pay attention. This same Japanese man said, you know what? On the flip side, if there's no sin in these people, if they repent and keep God's commandments, read.
Let my Lord now pass by. Lest the Lord defend them.
Lest they what?
Let the Lord defend them.
He said, if them people keep God's commandments, leave them alone. Lest their God defend them. Is our God defending us today? Is our God defending us today? Nah. So what does that let you know? We sinning. You say 1, 2, 3 that is? Read.
And that God before them. And we become a reproach before all the world.
This is a Japanese man from over 1,000 years ago that understood if we break the commandments of God, he will not fight for us. Then they can overcome us. That's how it happened. That's how they can have a bunch of LeBron James-sized dudes in a plantation with one white man. And it ain't just a white man. Every nation took part in our slavery. The Chinese took part of it. When you do your research, there's something called the Tang Dynasty when he's building the Great Wall of China. We built that as slaves. Every nation, the East Indian man had us in slavery in the 1300s, forced Islam down our necks. Every nation took part in our captivity. Because when slavery happened about 400 or 500 years ago, what nation came and freed us? What nation came and said, let's make war to stop this white man from killing these black people? What nation?
Ain't Judah, Martin Luther King, he had, right?
This is what I'm saying to you. I'm talking about other nations. What other nation came and said to the white man in America, stop enslaving black people? And made a war, went to war with the white man, like he's doing in Israel, to stop him from killing our people. What nation did that?
Not Nan Nation did it.
Not Nan Nation.
Right.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word